Welcome to CaseWareTrainer.com. Let's zoom out and do an overview of what I'm going to cover. I'm going to answer the question of, so what, in relationship to CaseWareTrainer.com. I'm not going to get into a lot of details about what Caseware is. Since you're at a website called CaseWareTrainer.com, I'm assuming you're familiar with Caseware. If not, please go to CaseWare.com for more information. Instead, I'm going to concentrate on my insight related to the current problems with live training. As an authorized Caseware trainer, I think there is always going to be a need for training and consulting that is live, but I hope to strengthen that offering with the more flexible medium of online content. I'll also try and keep the video entertaining with some personal stories and examples. I'm going to use a travel analogy to help explain how CaseWareTrainer.com will help solve two main weaknesses of live training. Let's start at 50,000 feet from the view of a partner. In our analogy, we'll say that a partner books travel via a travel agent. They just need to know where they are and where they want to go. They might give a description of something like the items listed here. One destination that would fit nicely with the description is Key West. Beaches, snorkeling, sunset cruises, and Duval Street were all relaxing enough to get me up on stage at Irish Kevin's a couple years ago to sing Chuck Berry's only #1 pop chart hit. You'll have to look that one up for yourself. But there is another location just 100 miles south of Key West that also meets that description. That location is Guantanamo Bay. If it can happen in a realistic movie like Harold and Kumar, it can happen to anyone. So, as a partner, CaseWareTrainer.com is for you. You are the decision maker in your firm. If you already are using Caseware, you've got the best of breed software on your side already. We just need to make sure you get to Key West and not Guantanamo Bay. Are you using CaseView? Are you using Word and Excel with Connector? How do you develop your content and processes? What areas should be automated with the power of Caseware? Let's go down one level. Maybe you're a manager, and for our analogy, you at least book your own major transportation. You decide whether it's better to fly or to drive. Or maybe you decide to book Greyhound like I did on a trip to the Rose Bowl back in 2000. That was quite the trip. Appleton, Wisconsin to sunny LA. 2,091 miles each way for a mere $100 round trip for two. What a great deal, until you realize it takes you 53 hours each way. Riding Greyhound for 53 hours straight, twice, is, well, an experience. Would it have been better for me to have worked some of those hours and been able to afford the extra cost of a flight? Depends. I definitely would not know as much as I know now about Greyhound. So, as a manager or a supervisor, CaseWareTrainer.com is for you. You don't need to be involved in all the nitty-gritty details, but you do need to know whether the features are being used properly. Are groupings and mappings set up to get the functionality and subtotals that you need? Is the consolidation feature being used effectively for for-profit entities or not-for-profit fund accounting? Alright, let's get down in the trenches. At least some staff at your firm need to know all the details. Details can be very important related to Caseware or relating to renting a car in Ireland. On my wife and I's last big trip before we started having kids, we decided to go to beautiful Ireland. With 12 years of driving experience under my belt, I decided to rent a car while we were in Ireland. It wasn't what I would call a large car. In Ireland, like some other non-US countries, you drive on the left side of the road, which means you're driving on the right side of the car. And therefore, the stick shifter is on the left and backwards. The Irish highways have beautiful views, but it's best to keep your eyes on the road, where, to your surprise, you'll often find sheep. You'll also find fieldstone walls lining just about any road you go on. Your main goal is to avoid any accidents as depicted in the warning sign above. So, if you need all the details, CaseWareTrainer.com is also for you. It will have all the screenshots and examples for checkboxes, menus, options, and settings, as well as troubleshooting guides and frequently asked questions. Based on my travel experience, it's probably a good thing that CaseWareTrainer.com is an online training website and not a travel website. Over the last 3 years of doing training for other CPA firms on Caseware, I've done a lot of live presentations. The problems include location, where either the attendees or the trainer have to travel and incur time and out-of-pocket expenses. Pace. When doing training for groups of 12 or larger, not everyone will learn the material at the same pace. Content. The content is often too detailed or not detailed enough, depending on the different type of attendees in that group. Hands-on training is a tool to help attendees with technical topics like Caseware, but canned examples don't always illustrate all of the options, or even the examples that will be most likely to be needed for that individual firm's circumstances. There are always handouts and other training materials to help bring home the training, but most of the time those binders just end up taking space on your bookshelf in your office, never to be seen or heard of again. We'll use our analogy one more time. How many of you have gone to training about how to travel? Probably none. Instead, how many of you have used or viewed any of the travel tools here? Maybe you saw the ideal location for your next trip on the Travel Channel. Then possibly you used Expedia to help book the flight and hotel. Once at the location, you may have purchased a guidebook for sightseeing and which restaurants to go to. By using the right tool at the right time of the process, the traveler learns exactly what they need to know when they need to know it. Like the tools of the traveler, CaseWareTrainer.com will provide multiple levels of content to have the right helping hand available throughout the learning process. So, if you're ready to stop just attending training and start to really learn Caseware, please register. CaseWareTrainer.com is for you.